My mom just passed away. How do I know if I need to go through probate? We get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring California's leading probate real estate team. I'm Brendan Moore, realtor and certified probate and trust specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And I'm Bill Heyman. I'm a licensed California professional fiduciary as well as a registered and bonded legal document assistant specializing in probate work in California.
Now please like this video, subscribe right now. Want a no-cost probate service? Well, every day we help people save thousands of dollars and eliminate headaches with our one-of-a-kind probate administration service and real estate listing combo. If it's in California and real estate needs to be sold, you may qualify. So please reach out, even if you've started your probate with somebody else or on your own. Our info is on the channel in our About section. We love your calls, texts, emails, and comments. Now let's get into it. So your mom just passed away and you're not sure if you have to go through the probate process. Now, of course, I'm here with Bill, who's probated, gosh, is it 4,000 states about now? It's a lot.
A few of them.
Yeah, you've been doing this for about 40 years.
Yeah.
So you would know, and it's, if I have it correct, I mean, it's a basic, I guess, test to see if they need to. Yeah,
sure,
a checklist.
Sure. Yeah.
So why don't you go with what's one of the ways to know if you have to go through it?
Well, I usually use like I said, a checklist and have 3 or 4 steps that I go through. But the first thing you want to do is assemble a list of every single asset that your mother owned on the day she passed away. You're going to list the house, the cars, bank accounts, retirement accounts, life insurance, whatever she had. Just make a list. That would be the first thing that you would want to do.
Okay. How about after that?
The next thing you would want to do is start eliminating things from that list aren't required to go through probate. So number one, let's say she had a retirement account. A lot of people think, oh, a retirement account has to go through probate. Not necessarily. Because on retirement accounts, just like life insurance, you name a beneficiary. And as long as the beneficiary is a living, breathing person, it's not going through probate. It will go directly to whoever that named beneficiary is. Likewise, you can do the same thing with bank accounts. You are allowed to set up a bank account to what they call pay on death. Pass away, you name your son as the one who gets the account. They just walk into the bank with a death certificate. The account is theirs. That account does not have to go through probate. So eliminate those things from your list that won't have to go through probate. That would be the second step.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
How about after that? What's a great third step?
Sure. After you have removed the things that have beneficiaries and don't need to go through probate, now you want to figure out what's the gross value of those assets that are left on my list. What's the gross value of the house? What's the gross value of the bank accounts? If she has investment accounts only in her name, what are the value? So get those values down, and they don't have to be exact, but a ballpark, especially on the house. But for the accounts, you may be able to get exact amounts. Total those up. If you find that the total of those values is greater than $184,500, you got to go through probate. If it's less than that, you don't. And there's some abbreviated things that you would do to take care of them, but you don't need to do a full-blown probate. But that's a real easy checklist and a real easy way to figure out when someone passes away if their estate needs to go through probate.
Now that figure of $184,500, that is currently, as of this date in 2024.
Correct.
Because that changes. It's gone up over the years.
It has gone up over the years, and it probably will go up again at some point. It used to be actually a lot less than that, but currently it is $184,500.
And you mentioned that in the first step about items titled in someone's name.
Right.
And a lot of times in real estate, what we see when has to go through probate is you look at the title on the house and only mom is on title, her name, and Mary Smith.
Yeah, you bring up that's a good point that I should have kind of chimed in or added in there. That again, you're looking for assets such as house accounts that are just in mom's name. No one else's name is on there, just in mom's name. So like you were saying, if you got a house, mom's name was on there and one of her children's names were on there as joint tenants, the house is not going to have to go through probate. Yeah. So that's a good point.
If it's in the name of a trust, a living trust, that is something that's
generally
typically
doesn't go through probate. Yeah, you're correct. That's correct. Yeah, you're again just looking for things that are titled solely in mom's name only.
Now, maybe one last thing, because we do see people, they'll begin probate way late, and you really shouldn't. It costs you a lot more when you delay. So we've seen people start several years later.
Yeah.
Those valuations from a probate perspective are for the date of passing.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. Date of passing. And that actually fouls some people up, because that's a good point. I have seen cases where someone is trying to probate an estate where someone passed away 15 years ago. Well, the valuation of the estate is based on 15 years ago, not today's date. And they, for some reason, think it's today's values, and using today's values, they're over the 184,500 mark, and so they go through probate. When if they had really looked at the situation and saw that it was 15 years ago, they were actually under the limit at that time, and they didn't have to go through a full-blown probate. So yeah, that's good points. One
other thing that somebody, this has been a while ago, but somebody who called our channel and said to me about that particular limit, or that amount that it has to get to, that they weren't sure if they had to go through probate because they confused gross value with net value.
Yeah, people do that a lot.
So it was something to the effect of, yeah, well, the house is worth $500,000, but there's a $400,000 loan. I only have $100,000 equity, so that means it's only worth $100,000. I don't have to go through probate.
Unfortunately, not in probate. Yeah, good point. Just as Brendan was saying, if you got a house that's worth $500,000, a $400,000 mortgage, maybe there's only $100,000 equity, but for probate purposes, it's always the gross value. You don't throw in the debts on there and subtract them out. It just doesn't happen in probate, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's a really great checklist, Bill. I hope that was helpful for everyone. Going through probate is very difficult. You want to make sure that you hire the right person to probate your estate. So a great video for you to watch, because maybe you're thinking about doing it your own. Maybe you're thinking about hiring an attorney. Maybe you're thinking about hiring a service like what Bill does for a huge cost savings. We have a great video called How Much Does Probate Cost in Sacramento? That really covers the entire state of California, but that one is geared a little bit more towards Sacramento. But watch that video. It's going to be linked next. It's going to appear right over where I'm sitting right now.